Why? Why is a question that parents ask me all the time. Why did my child develop autism? As a pediatrician, as a geneticist, as a researcher, we try and address that question. But autism is not a single condition. It's actually a spectrum of disorders. What does cause autism? In fact, there's probably not one single answer. Just as autism is a spectrum, there's a spectrum of etiologies, a spectrum of causes. Based on epidemiological data, we know that one of the causes, or one of the associations, I should say, is advanced paternal age. That is, increasing age of the father at the time of conception. When we compare it to other conditions that we're familiar with, things like cancer, heart disease, diabetes, in fact, genetics plays a much larger role in autism than it does in any of these other conditions. But with this, that doesn't tell us what the genes are. It doesn't even tell us in any one child, is it one gene or potentially a combination of genes? And so in fact, in some individuals with autism, it is genetic. That is, that it is one single, powerful, deterministic gene that causes the autism. However, in other individuals, it's genetic. That is, that it's actually a combination of genes, in part with the developmental process that ultimately determines that risk for autism. Our genetic information is organized into a set of 46 volumes. And when we did that, we had to be able to count for each of those 46 volumes, because in some cases with autism, there's actually a single volume that's missing. We had to get more granular than that, though, and so we had to start opening those books. And in some cases, the genetic change was more subtle. It might have been a single paragraph that was missing. Or yet, even more subtle than that, a single letter. 1 out of 3 billion letters that was changed, that was altered, yet had profound effects in terms of how the brain functions and affects behavior. In doing this within these families, we were able to account for approximately 25% of the individuals and determine that there was a single, powerful genetic factor that caused autism within those families. On the other hand, there's 75% that we still haven't figured out.
Could this be autism, is the theme of this session. I've been working in this area for over 40 years, and I'm going to pass on some of the new bits of information that we've picked up from research, but also from clinical experience. Social emotional reciprocity. What does that mean? Kid with ASD, group of kids playing over here. There's 3 options. One is kid thinking, I don't like it, I don't get it, I'll turn my back on them, and if they come close, I'll slug them, and they'll go away. Because the person likes to be alone, because if you share, you lose control. More on that later, but it's splendid isolation. Or, instead of being shy, introverted, and involved in your own activity, they go, over, right, that's it, you do that, no, you do that, and they stand that far away, and they are too intrusive and intense, and they dominate, and they don't give the signals that others will say, has he finished, as he walks off, because he doesn't say farewell or anything, or plays wrestling outside the classroom when you shouldn't really do that. And this can occur then with the adults who can upset other people by standing too close, dominating conversation, and intensive and intrusive. Or you're a girl with ASD. Girls are smarter and more creative and intelligent in how they cope. Because they go, wow, isn't that interesting? Who's popular? Rebecca. Right. I don't get it, but Rebecca does, so I'll become Rebecca. I want to be called Rebecca. I'll wear what she's wearing. I will play those games. I will observe. I will analyze. And I will imitate. And when I imitate, I'll either win an Oscar or become a psychologist. Because you've been observing and analyzing people since you were 3 years old. French drivers. You see, as I look at you guys, French drivers don't observe traffic signals. They park wherever they want. They park on pedestrian crossings. They break the speed limit. They expect an extra tip because they broke the speed limit and so on. So I describe those with ASD like French drivers. They don't read the signals. That's why I am here looking at you guys in the front, because your faces are traffic lights. If you nod and smile, green light, I keep going. If you're confused, amber light, slow down, France, speed up, and explain. Red light, angry, I'd stop. But these kids don't see the no tailgating signs and invade your personal body space. They don't see the woman at work signs and keep interrupting. So they don't read the signals.